TPS immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, hey there, guys, come on in, type in freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you could hear me, just say that I could hear you loud and clear. Come on in, freedom now, freedom now. We're going to have our Monday Q&A show and cover two very important updates. Firstly, two very important updates, and then after that we're going to dive into your questions. Okay, so guys, can you hear me okay? Come on in, type in freedom now, and say hello that you could hear me. I see that Yonkers is in the house. Hey there, Karen, good to see you. Envy, Annie, can you hear me? Am I all loud and clear? Let me know, guys, so that I can continue going with today's live session. Also, friends, you could reach out to us at McBean Law at 914-898-9488 or contact us at info@McBean Law, where you can request an appointment with us. Friends, the appointment consultation fee is $300 for me and $250 for my colleagues. Let's get going. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you, Senna. Good to see you. Thank you. She says that she could hear me. I appreciate that. Thank you. Excellent. I hope you guys had a terrific weekend. There was as usual, a lot going on. We're into the month of February, okay? And it already feels like we've wrapped up 2025 together already. It's been so intense, but let's pace ourselves and let's try to relax a little bit and get the good information that we need. Friends, subscribe to this channel if you have not yet subscribed, and hit that notification bell before you go today. Now, the very first news that I'd like to cover briefly is about TPS for Venezuelans, okay? You probably heard or saw my video this weekend or read in the news that TPS for Venezuelans, it's going to end, okay? It's ending. And so if you're confused about the end date, you've heard a couple of different dates and all of that, I'm going to clear it up for you in this one. So first of all, there were two designations for TPS for Venezuelans. One ending in September of this year, 2025, and another ending in April of 2025, in another couple of months. Secretary Mayorkas, before he left his position just a few weeks ago, he combined those two TPS designations into one and had an end date, a new end date, which is an extension into October of 2026. The new Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, revoked that notice, which extended those two TPS designations all the way into October 2026. And now, today, those two end dates are what's in effect and what's active. So if you've seen videos on TikTok which says, oh my goodness, people are going to lose their status in 60 days, what that means is this. The folks who have the April 2025 end date will get an automatic extension of 6 months. Automatic extension of 6 months, which will take them into October of 2025. So that's their real end date. And then the others who had that September 2025 end date still have that end date. So now there are two end dates for TPS for Venezuelans. One in September and the other in October of 2025. So that's what's going on. Now, if folks did not apply for asylum, they will lose their work permit because it's all going to go away. We're not expecting this administration to extend TPS for Venezuelans. Quite the opposite. They're trying to obviously shut it down and allow it to end on those two new dates. So that's what the news is. So folks are not going to lose their status in 60 days because there will be an automatic extension into October of 2025. Now, the second big news, and I've shared this news news with you as well in a shorts, and it's about the CHNV parole program that brought in about 530,000 individuals from Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Haiti. Now that parole process, what we're hearing is that there's an unpublished notice from the government. Okay, an unpublished notice from the government which says that that parole is going to be revoked immediately. That's a different process. It's going to be an immediate revocation of the parole, okay? And that notice has not been published yet, but we're expecting it to be published at any time very soon. What's really significant about this particular one, friends, is the fact that the government, in this notice, the government is indicating that if these individuals had not sought out lawful status in the United States through by applying for a green card or TPS, if they're eligible for TPS or asylum, well, they will be placed in removal proceedings. And for some people, they will receive a notice to appear in immigration court, an NTA. For other people, they're going to face expedited removal, which is that fast track removal that we've talked about already. There's a memo, there's an executive order, number one, which talked about the fact that the government will be doing more of these expedited removals and ending these categorical parole programs. And then there was a DHS memo, which we've talked about as well. And I'll try to link to those YouTube videos once this live session has ended. But the memo from DHS talked about the fact that these individuals with this parole, they will be facing this expedited removal process as well, but not everyone will face expedited removal. Some will be NTA'd. So now is truly the time, certainly, to work with an attorney to find out what your options are if you're from one of those four countries: Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and Nicaragua, because TPS is going away for Venezuela, and then the CHNV parole is going to be revoked. So those are the two big pieces of news that I wanted to bring to your attention today, okay? So come on in, guys. There are a lot of people watching. It's so good to see some of the usual audience. Kerwin, thank you for being here today. It's great to have you. Mohammed, excellent. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go into some of your immigration questions today. And I'm asking that you please do not spam, and also be respectful of those who are here today seeking good information. If we find that you're bullying or harassing anyone, we will ban you from this channel. It's fine to have a different opinion, but we just ask that you do not harass anyone, okay? Thank you very much. Freedom now, freedom now. Thank you for that, New Jersey. It's good to see you. Thank you. Now, what is on your mind today? Someone says, I wish I could get you as an attorney. You seem to be the only one who details everything on everything. There are some terrific immigration attorneys on YouTube and on TikTok, and I watch them every week. Some of my colleagues are doing great things, and I learn from them as well. And so we're really blessed to have several people who are really doing terrific work on YouTube, okay? Hey there, Kelly. Thank you for being here. Freedom now, guys. Freedom now, freedom now. Okay, so the first question is, if you have an I-601A waiver, can you be deported if you're waiting to get your approval decision? The I-601A waiver, the provisional waiver for the unlawful presence, in and of itself doesn't obviously protect you from deportation, but what it does is it shows that you're in process, you are on track for in a lawful way to become, a green card holder. So you should carry around your approval notice with you, and just focus in on the fact that you're on track. You're not the focus. You're not the focus of their attention at this time. So just be at peace. Those of you who have an immigration case in process right now, just be in peace. Thank you. Hey there, Casablanca. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. New Jersey's in the house. Does the Social Security number change if you have another case? No, Social Security, your Social Security number is really with you for life. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Cecilia says that she has an appointment with us this month. Excellent. We look forward to meeting with you. How can one expedite their pending asylum case? Can you close this for me, please? The door. I'm hearing outside. Thank you. Um, it's raining. We've got to close the door. Thank you. Um, the rain, it's a little distracting. It's really coming down here. So about expediting your asylum case, it's possible. You have to show that there's some sort of humanitarian or a real reason to do so. We've been doing those expedite asylum cases, and if you're here in the United States and you're seeking asylum, just know that it's a very lengthy process for most people. The asylum offices are way, way, way behind. I mean, years. It's awful. So for some people, an expedite makes sense. For other people, a lawsuit makes sense, and we do both types of processes. So you could speak with us to see if yours is a good fit to submit either an expedite or to file a lawsuit to get your case moving. I see that Guyana is in the house. Thank you. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. So for DACA, the news is we're still waiting. The Fifth Circuit gave us bad news a few weeks ago, and the case went back down to the district court level. And I have nothing new to share on DACA. If you should definitely seek your renewal. The recommendation from the past few months is if you know it's time for a renewal, you should absolutely seek that renewal. Thank you. Thank you. Freedom now. Freedom now. Let's keep going. Thank you. Arizona is in the house. Someone is asking, do you accept installment payments when doing the adjustment of status process? When adjustment of status process is still pending. So the way that we work is this. We start the case once you've paid your deposit, and then you make your payments. If you'd like a payment plan, we'll set you up with a payment plan. For us, all attorney fees will need to be paid in full before we file your case and send it off to the government. Okay, thank you. Let's see. I have our administratively closed cases with very clean criminal records and pending asylum safe from ICE, especially those who have overstayed their F1 student visa. Generally speaking, at this time, yes, I have not heard. It's only been, 2 weeks, right? Only 2 weeks. I have not heard yet that they are trying to recalendar these cases that have been administratively closed in removal proceedings. So for now, yes, I do think that you're safe. Thank you, guys. Freedom now. Freedom now. Let's keep going, guys. What's new for marriage, I-130 and I-45 adjustment of status cases? And when you file for them, can you send the medical stuff too? Yes, absolutely. You should send in your I-693 medical form with your case when you submit it. That's really the best way of doing it. What's new for this process? There's nothing new yet. Nothing new. What I think you should begin to think about is the fact that you've got to have a solid case with a good amount of evidence to prove that you're in a bona fide marriage. That's key before you file. You've got to have some good evidence of that. You've got to be prepared for an interview because they're going to bring interviews back. You've got to be prepared for more scrutiny of the application. And you've got to make sure that it's done properly to avoid a denial based on very small technical reasons. But I don't have anything new quite yet to share with you about the I-130, I-45 process in marriage cases. Jordan is asking from Dallas, I have an I-130 and I-601A A pending for about 2 years now. Will this be stopped? I have not seen anything about the I-601A process going to be stopped. It's discretionary, of course, but I have not seen anything about it being stopped. It takes 3 to 4 years these days for the government to review it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know, that some people are saying my volume is low. I don't have a mic. I'm not even supposed to be in front of you right now, but I made the effort, okay, to do this. So bear with me and just turn up the volume on your end because it's not going to get any better than what I have set up at this time. All right? So just deal with it, okay? Turn up the volume on your end. I can't do anything on my end. All right? Let's go. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Let's keep going. Let's see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's keep going. I'm only answering questions. Okay, Kelly says that I'm confused on green card holders. Can immigration remove someone with a valid visa? Okay, so Kelly, I'm not quite sure what you're asking specifically. I have a video coming out, I think by tomorrow, about green card holders. So watch that video in which I talk about the rights that green card holders have and the limitations that they also have, and how green card holders can be deported, some people who are green card holders. If you're here with a valid visa, I'm not sure what you mean by a valid visa, yet you're a green card holder. The visa has nothing to do with anything once you become a green card holder. Okay, so you may want to reframe that question for me, Kelly, if I had not answered your question. Good to see you guys. Let's see. What is an NTA? Johnson is asking. So Johnson, it's a notice to appear in immigration court. It's the notice that officially starts the deportation process, okay? It officially starts it. And in that notice, it has your name on it. It has what country or nationality you are. It has information about how you came into the United States and when. And it most importantly has information in there about why the government should deport you. What is the charge? What is the reason for the deportation? So that is what the government gives to an individual in the very beginning when they begin the removal deportation process against the individual. What do I think about the tariff situation between Canada and the US? So that's way beyond my area of expertise. I have my own opinion about these international relations issues that I discuss with my family and friends over dinner, but it's really not that relevant here, other than to say that the relationship, I don't think at this early stage that the relationship that is deteriorating is having any impact yet on immigration or visas. I think what will have a bigger impact, Rishi, on on visa the visa application process certainly will be the review that the government is doing right now of all visa programs, and the review or evaluation they're doing currently regarding security, national security, information sharing issues that would lead to justifying a travel ban against certain countries. Those are the bigger things that are happening right now that will impact the visa process, not the tariff situation at this time. Okay, I would pay attention to what's going to be coming over the next 60 days related to the visa programs and potential travel bans. That's what you should be looking for. Okay, freedom now, guys. I love it when you guys come on and you type in freedom now. It's the heart cry. It's the heart cry of freedom to be your best here in the United States. Um, Someone, it says that a decision is made. What does it mean when USCIS says that a card is being produced? Does it mean that your case is approved? Yes, that's I believe what it means. If you have a green card on the way, um, they're telling you they're producing it. The card is produced. Hey there, Kenise. Good to see you. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Any news with VAWA? No, not at this time, Jordan. There is nothing with going on with VAWA. Okay. Thank you, guys. As I've said, I am not even supposed to be on live with you, okay? So, um, my sound settings, I don't think I can do anything about it at this time, okay? Let's see. Let me see what I can do here. Maybe I can. Maybe. Let's see. I'm doing something here. Okay, this should be better. Maybe I can do something about it, Darlene. There you go. Boom. All right, it should be louder. Darlene, you're the one I trust, okay, because you've been in this community for years. So you tell me whether or not you think the volume is louder now. It should be. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see. Let's keep going. Okay, so what if you have a pending adjustment of status case while being on the parole program? Will you still be affected? Shanna is asking. So Shanna, if you have your pending adjustment of status case, you're going to be fine. You'll just need to carry around your receipt notice showing that you are in process for getting a green card. And if you're placed in removal, then absolutely you can contact us to see how we might be able to get the removal case dismissed, or at least at a minimum adjourned or administratively closed until you get a decision in your green card case. Someone says, I have two U.S. citizen children, a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old, and my wife are undocumented from Sierra Leone. Okay. So, when you have U.S. citizen children, you've got to, for some people, they have to wait until the child turns 21 so that the child could file for them, okay? My wife has refused to file for me for a green card. What can I do in that case? Terry is asking. So, Terry, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and they've refused to file for you, a lawyer will go into facts about your marriage, what's going on with your marriage. That's really key here. If there's any abuse in the marriage, and abuse can happen in many different forms. If there is abuse, then you can certainly proceed on your own with an application process for a green card, okay? And I need to also cover with you guys very soon about the Real ID Act, which is going into effect in May. It looks like this is the year that they're going to make it happen, guys. So I'm going to prepare something for you. Let me just make a note about that on the Real ID so that I can update you on this issue. Okay, Real ID. Okay, because I think that for many of you, you're going to need to understand how that's going to work and how it will impact you. Thank you, guys. Freedom Now. Let's see. Thank you for being here for the first time, Karen. It's good to see you. Given the times that we find ourselves in, what's the hope of cases that have been the hope of cases in administrative processing for nearly 2 years? So this is an individual who interviewed at the U.S. Embassy 2 years ago, and for some reason they have placed him in this process where his case is on hold right now, it seems, while they do some further background checks, or they had asked you, Sekou, for documents. What we would be looking at is whether we could, it would be good, I think so, obviously, to file a lawsuit to get your case out of administrative processing so that you can get a decision about the immigrant visa. You can reach out to us. I think that now is a really good time for you to do this, like immediately before things go south with the consular processing under this new Trump administration. I do not have anything to share right now on birthright citizenship, okay? Children who are born here in the United States to undocumented parents are still being considered U.S. citizens. And also, if you're here in a valid visa and you're here lawfully and you have a child, that child is still being considered a U.S. citizen. Thank you. Thank you. Someone says that I've reached out to you to schedule a time to meet with you. I need help with my deportation case and I have a pending VAWA. You can meet with one of my colleagues if my schedule doesn't work well for you. That's why we have hired people so that we can help more people, okay? So get on our calendar and if you'd like us to help you with that removal case. Let's see. I've heard that if you've changed your status to F1 is denied, you will be banned from the U.S. even if you leave on time. Is that true? If you leave the United States on time, you're not facing any ban if you left on time, but you could certainly reach out to us, okay? Reach out to us so that we could take a look at the timeline and take a look at what happened. Have you been refused of another visa to return to the United States? Hey there, Sarah. Good to see you as usual. Thanks for being here. What about TPS for Cameroon? Those from Cameroon? Are we safe? I have not heard anything about TPS for Cameroonians quite yet. They're focusing a lot on the bigger numbers, the bigger groups, right? Like Venezuelans, that's like over 350,000 who have TPS. So they're focusing on big numbers, it seems, right now. We do expect them to try to get rid of other TPS designations. It's just a stay tuned issue at this point until there's further information about those things. Is it okay to apply for citizenship now? I have a clean background. Now is a great time to apply for citizenship and free yourself from all of this drama that is happening with immigration. Let's see. Someone says that I applied for my visitor visa renewal online and I got back my passport saying that I am denied. They sent me an email asking for a face-to-face interview. Why? It's hard to say why without knowing more about your background. They refused your visa on some ground. Here are some examples of why they would do this. For some people, they refused the visa because maybe they found something in the background from maybe an individual who had been here in the United States previously and maybe overstayed. But normally they tell you this in the very beginning. That they had a problem, they found this. But now you're going through a renewal process, right? So you're going through a visa renewal process. It sounds to me like there's inconsistent information between what was on the first or the original visa application versus the renewal. There's some inconsistency there, or something was omitted either in the earlier one or the most recent one, and they're trying to reconcile these things and figure out, well, what's going on here. They might have found something. I think they may have found something, okay? You'll get more information, obviously, when you go in for that interview, but it might very well just be some sort of inconsistency across applications. I am a U.S. citizen. Am I okay? Yes, you're okay. Oops. Yes. Yes, you're okay. Let's see. Let's keep going. Why did USCIS send me a biometrics appointment notice after approving and producing my green card? It's a mistake. I've seen them do that before. Let's go like that. 6 years. Okay. Can someone who was married for 6 years and recently divorced, and you also have an I-751 pending for 3 years, can they apply for naturalization? So my question, okay, you said that you were recently divorced from the person who applied for you for the green card. I don't know what recently means. I would be, you were married for 6 years. The question is, how long have you been a resident? How long have you been a resident? Obviously, if it's less than 5 years if you're under 5 years and you're now divorced, I wouldn't be pursuing the naturalization process at this time. I would wait until you hit 5 years of residency. The timeline here has to be really precisely spelled out for a lawyer to really guide you accordingly, because you don't want to make a mistake and apply for naturalization based on the rule, which says that you can naturalize once you hit that, you could apply for naturalization once you hit 2.9 years of being a resident. You don't want to obviously apply early and you're divorced. It's not going to work out, because the privilege of doing it early is based on still being in a good marriage with that person who filed for you to begin with. I have my work permit. I was asked to do over my medical. Where do I stand? Sharon is asking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they've asked you to redo a medical. Just do it and submit it, and there you have it. I'm not sure where you stand overall with your case without knowing more. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going for another maybe 15 minutes. Let's see. My petition was filed 16 months ago under immediate relative. My status is showing that nothing is outstanding. Why is my approval taking so long? Orlando is asking. They haven't approved your I-130 yet. There's a little bit of a delay happening these days with the I-130 process. Can those with pending asylum travel domestically? Yes. I've been waiting more than 9 months for my green card. I got the advanced parole, but no further response as yet. You're on track to getting your green card. I would say continue waiting. Hey there, Redberry. Thank you for hanging out with us on YouTube today. Good, good, good. Freedom Now. Good to see you. I like it when my Instagram people come on over to YouTube. They're realizing now that, oh, there's more out there that I could tap into, which is great. Someone says the rain makes him want to sleep. Stay awake. Okay. This is such a great question. I love this one. How can a person know if there's a deportation order against them? So Ishmael, one way that you could know is by calling an 800 number to the immigration court system, the EOIR case status number. You could Google that and have on hand your alien number, or you can go to their website, the automated case website, and just put in your A number. And I have a video out there that literally walks you through how to do that. So, and this video was published just, I think, 2 weeks ago. So go watch that video. I'm sorry, not 2 weeks ago. That was about how to locate your relative if they're picked up by ICE. The video on how to find out whether you have a removal order, I believe I published that in 2023. But those are the ways. It's very easy for you to find out. Just Google EOIR case status or case automated case, that kind of phrase, and it'll pop right up and you'll be able to put in your A number, and the system will tell you whether the judge had issued a removal order against you. Or you could hire an immigration lawyer and they could do the search for you, but you can do this on your own at no cost. Can an appointment with our office be done via Zoom? Yes, Zoom. We in person in White Plains, New York, Zoom or telephone. Those are the ways that we're meeting with our clients. Thank you. Freedom Now, Samantha. Facebook is in the house. Let's see. My cousin came to the United States on a B1, B2 visa and applied for political asylum after 5 years. I received his receipt and went for biometrics too. Now waiting for an interview. Is he good? He's on track. I don't know if he's good or not, RJ. Only a lawyer who knows whether he has a chance for asylum can tell him that it's he's good or not. But he's on track, which is great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are the new USCIS changes? I've been talking about changes periodically as they are rolled out. I don't have anything more to share with you than what I've been sharing over the last few weeks. Just stay plugged in, and as things happen, I roll them out to you. Let's see. I have a question. I am currently waiting for my I-601 waiver. My wife was on unemployment for a couple of months. Will that affect my approval? It won't affect your approval, I don't think, of the I-601. Or do I need a joint sponsor? So what you need in a sponsor is going to be connected to your I-485 application, and it depends on how far into things USCIS is. Did you submit the I-601 after doing the green card interview and they told you you needed the 601, or was it submitted in the very beginning with everything as a big packet? The government obviously won't know about your wife's unemployment status until it gets to a certain point in your case. Here's what I'm saying. So if your wife filed for you with the I-130, the I-485, the I-864 affidavit of support, and the I-601, and your case is just pending, and along the way she becomes unemployed, well, it's possible for the government to approve your case without knowing her status with respect to her employment, unless they call you in and they interview you. You go on that interview, and then they have some issues and they say, okay, you need that, you're missing some things, or we've got to look into your background a little bit, and then they discover during that meeting that your wife there's been a change with her employment, then maybe it becomes relevant. But it truly depends on your filing. How did you file the case? Because like I said, most times the government won't know this detail. Yeah, so speak with an attorney if you want to anything further than what I've just shared, because there's a lot that I don't know about your case. Let's keep going. Someone says that I have an active 5 years work permit. My child is underage. I didn't renew her work permit. Will that make her undocumented? So you have a 5-year work permit connected to an active case that you filed. Is your child was your child filed for as well? Does your child have an active case as well? I think that, obviously renewed the child's work permit. It's a good idea for the child to have a valid work permit as well. That's a small, easy thing for you to fix. But it sounds like you have something in process, which is really good. But yeah, I would definitely make sure that whatever you have, the child has as well. Okay, 5 years ago, officers made me withdraw at the airport. Deportate. I would say you're under its cancellation. It's when what happens is this: when an individual goes to the airport and there's a problem, there's some sort of violation or something like that that is important, that makes the officials say to an individual, we're canceling your visa and we're sending you back home, well, that's considered removal, okay? And that's what some people don't really understand. But for some other people, it really depends on the facts of the case and what's going on. You can speak with us further to take a look at whatever documentation you have from that experience, or we could request your records from the government to see what really transpired that day to be able to really tell you more effectively what does it mean for your return to the United States and whether you're going to need a waiver or not. Okay, I've been getting this question a lot lately. If you have a Social Security and work permit from US CIS, even if you've overstayed, are you okay? You're okay from the standpoint of proving to the government, to ICE potentially, that you're on track for a green card, whether it is through having applied for asylum or the green card. So I would carry those proof with me that I have something going. Now, for some people, it really depends. If ICE finds that you're a public safety threat or danger or a national security threat, then just because you have something pending at USCIS, it doesn't mean that they won't detain you. All right, but most everyone else, they will just release or leave alone. Okay, because they only have 41,000 beds nationwide. And yes, they're opening up space in Aurora, Colorado at a military base there. I'm not sure how many beds they're aiming for there, but they have a capacity problem. And now they really want the local jails to be able to house some people because they need the space. They need more space to house people. So let's keep everything in perspective, but carry around your receipts so that they could release you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Freedom Now, guys. Freedom Now. Thank you so much for those of you who are joining today. Is there a date when we will know something on DACA? I have not seen or read anything about any particular dates. I'm not reading just so you know my limitations, I'm not reading any original documents filed in court or anything like that. I'm not following any litigation that closely. I just pay attention to the headlines. Thank you, Colette. Good to see you. Is it safe for well, let me start over. I heard that green card holders in the Bahamas were not allowed to re-enter the US. I have not heard that, by the way. Are there travel bans for green card holders? No. Is it safe for green card holders to travel? Yes. Here's what you're going to hear me say in the video that I filmed for you guys this weekend, okay, about green card holders. You're going to hear me say in that video that green card holders can travel. However, there are some green card holders who have a habit of living outside of the United States, and you guys know that to be true as well. They live outside of the United States and they come to the United States maybe once a year or something like that just to keep their status intact. And for many people, they got away with it for years. However, under this new administration, I can see them cracking down on that type of behavior and practice. So what I say in my new video is that you shouldn't stay out longer than 6 months, green card holders. And if you need to really stay outside of the United States longer than a year specifically, apply for a reentry permit that allows you to stay out longer without jeopardizing your lawful residency status. But green card holders can travel. They can re-enter the United States. I have not heard anything about them being denied, and there is no ban on green card holder travel. Okay, watch the new video that's going to come out tomorrow on green card holders' rights, privileges, and limitations. Okay, thank you guys. Freedom now, freedom now. Is it wise to do a sponsorship application at this time? Sherry is asking. Sherry, whatever immigration process is in place today, you could still do it. Okay, it can if it's open, if the application process is still open, do it. If one is eligible. It sounds like you want to file for someone. You can file for that individual. Okay, thank you. Let's keep going. Someone is asking, with a pending TPS case, will the person be deported with the case pending? When you say pending TPS case, have you not been approved? The person has not been approved yet of TPS, because TPS status is what will protect that person from deportation. Also, remember that deportation is a process of going into court, taking your case before a judge, and making an argument and weighed in. For some people, years. Now, expedited removal, though, is something that they are going to be pushing for these days for individuals who entered the United States less than 2 years ago, right? And so if based on the DHS memo that I went in details with you guys about a week ago, they are going to be pushing for more expedited removals and stripping some people of due process rights. And that's where you really need a lawyer to fight and stand up for you and stand up for your constitutional rights, your due process rights. But TPS itself protects someone absolutely from deportation. Thank you, guys. Someone says, what if they moved your master calendar hearing, which is in immigration court? Are you safe? You're fine. You're going through the process in immigration court. They've changed the date. We're going to see a lot more of that, by the way, shifting of dockets. The judges are going to be given very, very harsh directives, right? Like the last time, they were really told to not adjourn cases. Don't grant continuances. Make sure that you try to close things up, move people faster through your docket. They were given very specific guidelines under the last administration. We're expecting very similar tough guidelines to come out to really push the cases through faster, but it's just not feasible for every case. So they will be changing things around. You'll be getting new hearing dates, new judges. It's going to be really chaotic in immigration court. Not to mention that a lot of these folks who had CHNV parole status and then TPS for Venezuela, a lot of these individuals most likely will be applying for asylum. So a lot more people will be going into the removal process. Let's see. Freedom now. We're almost there. Okay, I saw a question here about someone who took voluntary departure and returned to the United States unlawfully. Speak with us about this question here about reopening the case, so that we could share more on that issue. Let's see. Let's go down just a little bit here. Okay, hit the like button, people. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Hit the like button, guys. Joe is telling you to hit the like button. He's helping me out today. Someone said, Lilith says that she filed for her adult daughter in 2021. That category is a lengthy one. It's going to be a several years process for your daughter. Someone says that I am married, but I have not put in my papers yet. Okay, well, why not? Is it because you don't have the evidence, or what's going on there? You should, if you're eligible to file a marriage case, now is a good time to get your case filed, but make sure it is done properly. Freedom now, guys. I'm aiming to do another live session on social media on TikTok and Instagram. It might be tomorrow. You could follow me on those forums, and it's going to be a Q&A session. I don't have the time yet because I'm unable to figure out when I can do it. Thank you, Caitlin. I see that. Thank you. Let's see. I want to know. I hear from tomorrow that they're stating that mass deportations will occur in 10 states starting tomorrow until next week. Kerwin is asking. So Kerwin, they have ramped up. They've tripled the arrests. ICE has tripled the number of arrests that they're making. You know, by the quota is 75 arrests per day per field office times 25. That's 25 field offices. So you do the math on that, it gets up to like 1,800 and something per day that they're really shooting for nationwide. And they know that cameras are following them, everybody is watching what they're doing, so they're super sensitive about how they're doing stuff. But they've ramped up. They're frustrated. Some people are frustrated in the administration by the fact that many people now know their rights. Okay, knowing your rights is actually frustrating their efforts because, as you know, law enforcement, God bless them. I believe in law enforcement. I want more law enforcement out there. I want to be safe and protected. I believe in law enforcement's work. They're doing important work, but we all know that sometimes they do things unlawfully, right? And now the fact that us and other lawyers are teaching you time and time again, know your rights, here's how you should respond, and it's spread like wildfire. It's frustrating their efforts to undermine people's constitutional rights. So nothing is going to stop them from ramping up and over the next week, right, with their arrest, but you've got to know your rights so that if you're home where you expect the highest level of privacy in your home and they come knocking on your door, don't do like what you're seeing on TikTok and you're saying behind the door, I'm a U.S. citizen. And those skits are funny. They make us all laugh and all of that. But please don't mimic those, okay? Know your rights. You could laugh at those, but don't mimic them. If they come to your home, you've got to know the rights. I have my videos here on this channel on knowing your rights. Watch those videos, guys. That's what's frustrating the efforts right now, the fact that people know their rights. Okay, so Darlene lives in Tennessee. She heard me talk about the fact that they have the text that they've passed the Senate. I also heard that the House passed it too, but I wasn't able to verify that. The Tennessee law that I talked about last Friday in a live session on YouTube, the fact that they are limiting green card holders to have a temporary driver's license. Some other states do have these types of restrictions as well, limiting green cards, but this is a kind of aggressive there in Tennessee and how they're trying to connect it to voter fraud and all of that. So her question is, will it affect her husband and not being able to get a permanent driver's license? I'm not sure how this bill could impact your husband, Darlene. And again, I need to verify that it passed their house. I heard that it did pass their house, and I don't even know if the governor signed it as yet because I wasn't able to loop back, but I'll look into more on what's going on there in Tennessee. Okay, you guys are giving me a list here. You're giving me homework, right? I'll loop back on that one. Is it safe to travel domestically or not? It's safe. Okay. How long is the 601 processing time? The 601 processing time ranges, it varies, I should say. It depends on the type of case that's filed. I could speak from our experience, okay? So for us, we, last year, most recent data I'm thinking about, last year we saw some 601s approved in like 4 months, 6 months, and then for other cases, 12 months or a little longer, we had to wait on the 601, but it varied depending on the type of case that it is connected to. Thank you, Adilaja. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Freedom Now. I filed for my adult children. Be approved. To be approved. 1 year now by NVC. I'm not sure, Angela. I thought this question was asking something else, but I can't make this out. I have advanced parole, and is it safe to travel? So EA, I issued a travel warning video. I released that video a few days ago, and in it I mentioned advanced parole, that yes, it is still safe to use your advanced parole, but also know that some people experienced some problems when they were trying to come back into the United States because some customs officials did not understand the difference between advanced parole that's issued under asylum, a pending adjustment of status application, TPS, DACA. They confused that one with the parole that they heard that Trump canceled, and they weren't clear on things. And, they were considering the fact that people had been here unlawfully, unlawful presence. But from what I understand through my association, those folks were able to still come in, and we're not hearing that many problems since then. But if you're going to travel on advanced parole, just expect potentially having to go through a little bit more scrutiny at the airport, because not all of the policy changes are well understood on the ground by those in the field working at airports doing their daily work, okay? Citizenship, yes, it's still safe to apply for citizenship. If you feel any fears about the process or about how you obtained your green card, then speak with a lawyer to talk about that before you apply for citizenship, okay? Thank you. You're welcome, KH. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go back to this one, says, we have a beautiful community of Congolese here in Portland, Maine. Have you heard anything about ICE deportation? No, I have not heard about what's going on in Portland, Maine. But I did miss a very important meeting on Friday with the other immigration lawyers. They have a round table each week, and I missed that one, but I have the recording that I need to watch to see what, if anyone had reported out about Portland, Maryland. But I don't know what's going on there. Do I think the Trump administration will end all TPS? Can he do that? He can certainly try. They tried before during his first term. They weren't very successful. I expect that they will try to justify getting rid of TPS for many countries. I'm not sure which ones yet. Venezuela is already one that we see that they just don't like TPS for Venezuela. Let's see. Guys, I'm going to have to actually jump off here. Let's see. Freedom Now, Freedom Now. Let's go over here. The super chat question, do you think there will be any issues when filing I-751 to remove conditions? I think you'll be fine with your removal of conditions case if done properly. Okay, if done properly, you should be okay with that. Another super chat? Are you okay if you have an asylum hearing date with the court, and you also have your 5-year work permit? Yes, you should be fine, Gibbs, with being able to bring your full case, have your full case heard before an immigration judge. If ICE tries to dismiss your proceedings, your lawyer, if you're working with a lawyer, you should be, by the way, if you're not, will need to really rise up and fight for your due process rights, and argue for you to be able to keep your case in court all the way to the end, to the individual hearing. Another super chat. What are the options for someone who's over 21 and single? My father is close to getting his green card. I entered through the airport and I've overstayed. So once your father gets a green card, your father can file the I-130 petition for you. You're going to be waiting a lengthy time for that petition process to finalize, and then some more years for a waiver to be approved. And then ultimately, the government will require you, Raphael, to go back home to an embassy process to finish everything at the U.S. Embassy abroad. But what I would suggest is that your father file that I-130 for you with his green card. Okay, you're single and he's eligible to do that for you, well, once he gets his green card. Okay, another super chat says, is there any truth to the fact that if an attorney submits your application that they have to report you to ICE or lose their license? So here's what Tish is asking. Tish is asking, I don't know where you heard this from, Tish, but there's information out there, misinformation. So Tish is hearing that if an attorney files an application for you, that attorney has to report you to ICE, otherwise they will lose their license. There is no such thing. And by the way, there is no reporting happening through the work that we're doing at McBean Law. Immigration lawyers are not reporting their clients to ICE. Hear me loud and clear. They're not reporting their clients to ICE. First of all, there's this thing called attorney-client privilege, number one. And then secondly, when an attorney files paperwork to the government and submits a G-28 because of privacy rules and all of that, the government can share information about your case with your attorney, and it's clear on the record at USCIS or to immigration court that this is your lawyer. The government can speak to your lawyer about your case. There's no reporting aspect or requirement that we have that tells us to tell ICE who we're working with. I'm just stunned by this question, actually. But there's a lot that's going out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And I hope that this clears up that lie for you, okay? Someone says that, and this is the last super chat, that I was granted deferral of removal in 2008. I'm checking in with ICE tomorrow. I'm under supervision. Try to see if your lawyer is available to go with you. Okay, that's the recommendation that I'm given, a blanket recommendation that I'm given for those who are under supervision and you're checking in with the government. And I have not heard about people being arrested during their check-ins yet. I have not heard that happen, and it did happen during the first term, of course. I expect it to happen again, but I have not heard that yet, that it's happening. But bring your lawyer with you if the lawyer will be available, okay? Guys, I'm going to jump off now. It was great speaking with you. Sorry about the volume in the beginning, but it is what it is. I hope that you turned it up on your end. I finally figured out how to turn it up on my end. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I really didn't think I was going to be here with you today, but I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. We just got to make it work. And I'm glad that we did. I'll be back, though, on social media maybe tomorrow, as I've said, on TikTok and Instagram. So jump over there and follow me. If there's anything else breaking news, I'm going to continue to stay plugged in this week and get the information out to you guys. Contact us at 914-898-9488 to book an appointment with an attorney at our office. And subscribe to this channel and our newsletter also at mcbeanlaw.com/subscribe. Lastly, we have free materials on our website for you. Go to our website, mcbeanlaw.com/free, and download some information, including information about your constitutional rights. Thanks again for being with me today in this one, and I will see you soon. Thanks again, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.